In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tariq Masood. Thank you very much for watching my video and your exceptional support to make the channel a grand success. We as a team can convert challenges into opportunities and opportunity into success stories. These success stories can be monetized into value addition. Thank you very much again. In my earlier lecture, we have discussed extroversion, introversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling. Today, lecture number 4, we are going to discuss judging and perceiving. Before my lecture, I used to read a Quranic verse. Rabbi shrahli sadri wa yassarli amri wahlul uqdatum min lisani yakfu qawli rabbi zidni ilma. Before my lecture number 4, I will give you a complete a trail or 2 slides. I will take only short time to discuss my future plan, what I'm going to give next 6 to 7 month technical lectures on different areas. So after that, I will start my lecture judging and perceiving after 2 slides. Thank you very much again. As I have discussed earlier, I have a plan to give how the process industry are functioning effectively, efficiently. What are the ground rules? If you can see here on my pyramid from bottom to top here, so the first layer is called the leading factors. So leading factors must be reliable, very important, must not have releases from any reasons. So these factors have a logical connection up to top. And the second is a semi-leading. So work safely or not at all. That is the semi-leading. And number 3, semi-lagging. So production at rate, product at specification. There is always time to do it right. On the last here, that is lagging factors, very important, how to achieve here. If it is worth doing, do it in better way. In order to stay on the top, to achieve a maximum, we need a different discipline engineers who should participate. Petroleum, chemical, electrical, instrument control, mechanical, industrial, and so on. And these engineers must have a specialty as far as the process industry is concerned. What are the specialty we needed? A loss prevention engineer, safety engineers, process engineer, operation, optimization, or discipline maintenance, corrosion, integrity, reliability, cost, project, and etc. These engineers, when acquired a specialty, then they delivered what we're supposed to be to have maximum value in order to stay on the top of the pyramid. So they will contribute from bottom to top in order to deliver the result as planned. How to do these activities to well frame and strategically structured, we need a center of excellence for engineering best practices. So based on that, we can deliver or we can constitute what we want to be and why we want to be at the top of the pyramid. So on my next slide, we will give a brief about the key focus area, how the center of excellence for engineering best practice can function effectively and efficiently. Okay, this is my key focus area, which I have a plan to deliver a large number of lectures, probably plus 20 lectures. Okay, this schematic demonstrates how the process industry is functioning and what are the different specialty is functioning in order to deliver the results. Okay, if you can see here, this is my raw material processed at different stages, and after that it's delivering my goal or my final product. Okay, first, what are my key objective, my key goal? Environment compliance, personal safety, zero goal compliance, zero trip leaks, product quality, and optimize operating cost. That is my key objective I should achieve when I process a raw feed through at different stages. Okay, in order to achieve these products, what I have to do? First, doing things right. Okay, then doing the right things. And number 3, doing the right things right. Okay. In order to do these things, I have to do a complete process what I supposed to do in order to do the things right, doing the right things right, and doing the right things right. Okay. Now, as I've shown my pyramid in my last slide, if you can see here in my pyramid, these are my leading factors. These are my leading factors. That is hazards, operability management system, quantification of risk assessment, hazard identification, risk assessment, safety, integrity level, SAIL assessment. Okay. These are my leading. So if something happens, so then it will turn into semi-leading, semi-lagging, and then lagging factor. That is my ultimate goal achieved, if whether I achieved my goal or not. Okay, I will brief give about all my hazard assessments, then I will give brief about how my 15 segments will be there. Okay, now my hazard assessment, first I'm talking about the hazards and operational management systems. This technique provides a systematic method of analyzing the cause and effects of abnormal plant operation. Okay. Number 2, quantification risk assessment. To define the criteria to be used in quantitative risk assessment carried out for a company where it has a third-party interest, major stakeholder in project, etc. These criteria will ensure the consistency of the studies. In order to that, direct comparison may be made between studies that could cover individual risk criteria, location, hazard assessment, etc. So these are area can be covered during quantification of risk. If we can see, the number 3 is hazard identification. In hazard identification, hazards, so early detection of potential hazard and threats from project, plant or plant modification, which covers structure, responsibility, technique of hazard studies. It covers all phases of project, feasibility, concept, optimization, feed, APAC, operation, decommissioning, abandonment, potential hazard to human safety, environment, and assets production loss, etc. Okay. In the risk assessment here, that is the procedure to identify, assess, and manage risk. So normally the health and safety system driving residual risk to as low as possible acceptable level. In third here, that is number 5, To determine of appropriate reliability, that is called the CEl, required from the elements of the safety instrumented functions in prior safety studies like HAZOP and HAZARD, etc. It covers safety integrity levels, study using calibrated risk graph, layer of protections analysis method, that is also known as a LOPA, etc. So these are 5 methods will be discussed next couple of months. Okay. Now I will give brief about the other key focus area. The first is leadership. Okay. Leadership best practices. As you have seen, I have published a huge number of almost 23 lectures on leadership. Probably next couple of days you will also see some more lectures on leadership. So what is the leadership best practice? Establish the multiple leadership model. TAM test is simple in concept. Address all business aspects. Feed, plan and budget process. That is leadership best practices. Number 2, competency assurance. What is a competency assurance? A process or procedure for a personal competency is a key to maintaining a personal safety and operational integrity. Competency developed and sustainable. It's very integral as far as the process industry is concerned. Number 3, if you can work management system, control, coordinate, ensure work authorization, reduce the risk of health and safety and process incident, nobody get hurt. That is very important. In number 4, facilities integrity management system. What is that? This is another very important segment. To manage the integrity, most critical surface equipment, technical maintenance and inspection, different types of category of equipment, A, B, C, D, whatever, and investigate and address a root cause analysis and reliability events, etc. In number 5 here, alarm critical operating management parameters management systems. Establish a procedure to manage alarm and critical operating parameters. Significant improve process safety by identifying key performance indicators that can be used to monitor alarm system health and manage. It's also called the COP, critical operating parameter risk management system. Number 6 here, the contract and selection management system. Procedural process to attract and utilize a safe contractor, work as a one team, ensure leadership interface, sustain with a key focus area like health, competency, work empowerment, program effectiveness, and gap closures. Number 7, risk assessment management systems. So, in risk assessment management system, process procedure to identify, assess, and manage risk, health safety system, driving reservoirs to acceptable level. Okay. Now, to maintenance management system, to achieve best-in-class safety, reliability, integrity, and cost performance. Process procedure to set up centralized maintenance organizations. Number 8, facilities surveillance. Process procedure to maximize the value of the assets, cost and value drivers, unplanned downtime, optimize planned downtime, missed opportunities, value of product and OPEX cost, best value of the molecules at the best cost of the utilities. Next is capacity enhancement, a process to identify the categorize the unproduced volume, restoring economic shortened volumes to full capacity or more. that is my capacity. Then short and long term turnaround. Process to identify and address complexity, scalability, integrated planning, work selections, refinement, and shutdown management deliverables. Okay, operator care management systems. Improved reliability, increased volumes, cost reduction, enhanced knowledge transfer, shifts and increased ownership, improved lessons to operate performance. Number 12, management of change, effective and benchmarking. Globally systemized process for management of change, workflow from MOCs, steps and approvals. So now we have discussed number 12 sections. So how the things happen. Number 13, CapEx, OpEx management system. Effectively and efficiently manage cash OpEx, roles, responsibilities, expectations and tools. Okay. So in last here, we have seen next is a project management system. So guidance to practitioners to scale and implement project management efficiently. And last, very important, that effective benchmarking system. When we have everything, so how to benchmark, understand performance variability and underlying causal factors, broaden understanding of work process integrations. So after setting up of all process and specialty, so you will deliver what you need to be at in the pyramid, that is center of excellence, in order to enhance the process operations. So if you see in the bottom area here, that is one example. In process industry can cover that FCC, sweetening, hydrotreating, polymerization, hydrogenation, dehydration, hydrofinishing, etc. That are the process which pass through different stages in order to deliver the results. How a different key focus area will contribute in order to have seamless operations. Okay, now before starting my lecture number 4, I will give you a recap what we discussed last couple of weeks. Extraversion, introversion, sensing, intuition, thinking and feeling. We have discussed our 4 lectures. So in my first, I will give brief about the extraversion, introversion. This is the second layer and that is the other as the top layer. What is the first layer? The extraversion prefers focus on the outside world to get energy through interacting with the people and doing things right. On introversions, you focus on the inner world and get energy through reflecting on information, idea and or concept. And number 2, sensing and intuitions. What is sensing? Preferred sensing notices and trust facts, details and present realities, how the things could happen. And preferred intuitions, you tend to entrust interrelationship theories and future possibilities. And number 3, thinking and feelings. On thinking, you make facts, you make decisions using logical, objective analysis, and feeling, you make decisions to create harmony by applying a person-centered values. And the last is a judging and perceiving, which I am going to discuss in detail. What is the judging? You tend to be organized and orderly to make decisions quickly, and perceiving, you tend to be flexible and adaptive to keep your options open as long as possible. So now we are going to discuss my judging and perceiving in my next 3-4 slides, and then we will conclude. In my conclusion, we'll discuss what is the impact, judging and perceiving impact on personality, impact on communication, impact on change management, and impact on conflict management system. Now, as I discussed earlier, here what is the judging and perceiving here? So So we have seen here judging and perceiving. First is the judging tend to be organized and orderly to make decisions quickly. And what is the perceiving prefer? You tends to be flexible and adaptive and to keep your options open as long as possible. Okay. Now, what are the takeaway point from my lecture? First is the judging. What is judging? Impact of judging, perceiving, impact of perceiving. Then communication and style management, enhancement, change management, and conflict management. After my lecture, you will be able to learn how judging and perceiving impacting on your communication, impacting on change management, and impacting on conflict management systems. So now we are going to start on my next slide how we can trail judging and perceiving sensing in this lecture. Okay, as thank you very much for your time. As we have completed emotional intelligence, almost it took almost 6 months. Probably within a month, I hope we can complete personality assessment. Okay, what is the personality assessment? What is the personality? So there are many different theories. One theory is it suggests that we have opposite ways of gaining energy, that is extraversion, introversions, gathering or becoming aware of information, what we have, what we need to have it. That is also known as sensing or intuitions. And deciding or making decisions or conclusion, what we do or what we should not do, thinking or feeling. And with dealing with the world around us, that is judging and perceiving, how the concept is a personality assessment is derived from this lecture probably. So on my next slide, the first I'm going to discuss here. Okay, now we are going to discuss a personality assessment. Basically, personality constituted into 8 segments and 4 pairs. Each pair has 2 elements which are opposing each others. So now we will describe brief about the first pair, second, third and fourth pair. What is the first pairs? Introversions and extroversions. So in both areas, introversion, extroversion, the prefer extroversions focus on the outside world to get energy or through interacting with the people and or doing things right. In introversions, what would be the prefer introversions? Focus on the inner world and get energy through reflecting on information, ideas and or concept. Okay. On third preference, on over here on sensing and intuitions, notices and trust facts, details and present realities. That is the first sensing. And prefer intuitions, you attend to and trust interrelationship theories and future possibilities. So on my third pairs, thinking and feelings, you make a decisions using a logical objective analysis. As far as thinking is concerned, in prefer feelings, make decisions to create harmony by applying a person-centered values. Okay. On my last and fourth pair is judging and perceiving. You tend to be organized and orderly and to make decisions quickly as far as judging is concerned. And what would be the prefer perceiving tend to be flexible, adaptive to keep your options open as long as possible. Okay. In my earlier lecture, we have discussed introversion, extroversions. Today, we will discuss only sensing and intuitions. On a later stage, we will discuss thinking, feelings, judging, and perceiving. These 2 pairs will be discussed next couple of weeks. Okay, as I've discussed earlier in my lecture number 1, 2, 3, today this is my lecture number 4. Now, over here we are going to discuss in lecture number 4 a simulation model. So this is my score bar here. So my score from 0 to 30 from left and right. In my earlier lecture, we have already discussed extraversion and introversions, sensing, intuitions, thinking, and feeling. Today, we are going to discuss judging and perceiving. So, if you remember in my earlier lectures, we have focused on extraversion, introversions, typical logical, analytical, objective criticals, and what is sensing, focus on things as they are, not as they might be, and thinking, feeling, focus on the immediate, visible, and tangible solutions, and judging and perceiving most satisfied in a work environment, that is judging and what is these a bar indicates. Larger the bar, longer the bar, more clear you are to express your preferences. So if you can see, the thinking has more preferences and you are very much clear about the thinking, and judging and you are clear. So the score bar divided into four segments: light, moderate, clear, and very clear. So if you stand clear, so you are scoring 25 numbers. If you are in very clear, or you will score a 30 marks. So within this range, your sense are reflecting from slight, moderate, clear, and very clear. Okay, as we discussed earlier slide, extraversion, introversions. So here we stay the same, but we will discuss the opposite forces or opposite poles. Introversion focus on inner world and to get energy through reflecting on the information idea and concept that tend to be trust, that is intuitions, make decision to create harmony, that is feeling. And today we will give a run one simulation model on judging and perceiving, tend to be flexible, adaptive, and keep your option open as long as possible. So as we mentioned earlier, so the longer the bar, more clear you have expressed your preferences, and we can say we are have a different score rate as per the simulation models. So similar, if we will develop a model, so each person can demonstrate how they are behaving on extroversion, introversion, sensing, thinking, feeling, and judging, etc. So now on my next slide, we are going to discuss a complete a trail on judging and perceiving. Okay, now judging and perceiving. Judging and perceiving constituted again of five segments. So in each segments, so they are opposing to each other. If you can see on the left hand side, systematic, planful, early starting, scheduled, methodical. On the casual, open ended, pressure prompted, spontaneous, emergent. So these are uh, five forces or five senses which are opposing to each other. First, we'll talk about systematical and casuals. Okay, systematically orderly, structured, dislike and divergence. So relaxed, easygoing, welcome, divergence, casual. So in planful and open-ended, future focused. So and make form plans, and open-ended, present focus, go with the flow, make flexible plans. Early starting and pressure prompted to each others, motivated by self, disciplined, steady progress. Motivated by pressures, burst, spots, and early start, unstimulated. So then number 4, scheduled and spontaneous. Routines make list, procedures helps, variety, enjoy unexpected moments, procedure hindrance, etc. So methodological and emergent here, plan specific task, note, subtask organized, plunge in, let strategies emerge, adaptive. So that is how judging and perceiving have five forces or sensing which are opposing to each other. Okay, now we will run a model to demonstrate how judging and perceiving, sensing or behaving or responding to each other. First is the judging here. So the preferred decisiveness and closures, perceiving, preferring flexibility and spontaneous. So now this is my score bar here. 0 to 5 on right hand side and left hand side. So it is divided in the first is if it's in 0 it will be mid zone, and if it's right hand side, so that is out of preference. If it's on the left hand side, then it is in preference. So first is moderate, second is clear, and fourth is very clear. So moderate, clear, first mid zone, moderate, clear, and very clear. Similarly, on the right hand sides, the first moderate, clear, and very clear. So in the mid zone, it's showing a 0 value. So extreme right hand sides, casual, open ended, pressure prompted, spontaneous, emergent, and similarly the systematically planful, early started, scheduled, and methodological. So that is how the things happen. So first we'll discuss about systematical and casual. So we will talk about systematical because it is in preference. It's got 5 marks. What is systematic in preference? Live by the motto, be prepared, plan for the worst case scenario with many contingencies in place. Work within a superstructures of efficiency, dislike any kind of divergence, do not like surprise. Okay, number one. Number two, planful, that is again in preference versus open-ended. So it is clear. It got score clear, not very clear. Very clear mean it will be on grade 5. So what is the planful? Like to make long range plans, especially for leisure activities, enjoy looking ahead and planning for the future. May enjoy the planning more than the doing. Feel that long range planning makes you more efficient and ensure that things will happen the way you want. That is planful in preference. In the third here, I will talk about pressure prompted and early starting. But because we are in preference early starting, so we will discuss early starting. In preference, allow yourself plenty of time to accomplish an activity efficiently. Do not like a feeling overwhelmed with too much to do. Average your work so you don't have to deal with last minute rush. Work on multiple tasks comfortably by starting ahead of time and working on each task for a short concentrated period of time. Can't forget incomplete task. Feel calm and satisfied when you complete something. So number 4 here, scheduled and spontaneous. So the schedule here, want routine, make list, procedure, help, etc. So what is the schedule in preference? Comfortable with routine and do not like them upset. Like established methods and procedures, prefer to control how you spend your time. Enjoy scheduling both work and fun activities. Other may be more aware of your routines than you are. Appear rather than predictable, but like it to that should happen. On the last year, methodical and emergent. What is the emergent or methodological? Develop detailed plan for the task at hand, that is methods we are talking about in preference. So define the subtask of your work, including the orders in which things should happen. Thoroughly prepare in precise ways, specifically all the steps need to accomplish the goals or like to do earlier what you have prepared in advance with little diversions. So that is how judging and perceiving, sensing or behaving to each other. Now we have discussed. On my next slide, we are going to discuss what is the judging and perceiving impact on communications. That is my conclusion slide on change management and conflict management. So now we will conclude with communication, change management and conflict management. Now we are going to conclude judging and perceiving lectures. So what is the impact of judging and perceiving on communication, change management and conflict management? First, in order to know particularly to better communication includes, first is telling other what kind of information you need, ask other what they need, monitor your impatience when other style dominate. Number 4, realizing that other like or not trying to annoy you when they use their own communication style. Okay, first we'll talk about initiating. Okay, if you see here the initiating, the first facet, so communication style starting interacting by helping people get to know one another. That is your style, and how to enhance, make sure that people actually need and want to these introductions. Number two, expressing. So in expressing here, the first your style, say whatever in your mind to anyone, you will listen. To enhance, recognize when it is important not to say what's on your mind and then don't say it. Number three, reflective. So in reflective here, like to communicate by reading and writing. Okay, recognize that your message might not get across unless you are willing to say it loud. Okay, number four, quiet. So what have to do it? Experience or your enthusiasm internally, don't show them to others. Be aware that will think you are uninterested selectively. Let people know what really interests for you. In number four, concrete here. Okay, talk about here and now detail. Be open to inference that you can arise from the details. Questioning here. Okay, questioning, want to ask questions. Be selective in choosing question to ask so as not to intimidate peoples. Number four, critical. So in critical over here, so you have to naturally talk. Critic stands to just about everything. Recognize that others may mistakes your critic for personal criticism and be clear when this is not your intent. Number last is a fourth, tough here. So in tough here, so the embody to phrase let go on what? Beware that sometimes your way of moving ahead may be wrong for the situations. So that is how the tough. In the last here is a methodical. So identify the steps and their orders before starting task. Be tolerant for others who plunge in without identifying the steps. Okay, in change management over here again, number one, be clear what is a change and what is remaining the same. Identify what you need to know to understand the change and then seek out that information to help others deal with change. Number three, encourage and open discussions about the change. Be aware that this is easier for some than others. Number four, make sure that both logical reason and personal or social values have considered. Okay, now first is expressing here, your facets here. Freely share your feelings about the change with others. What is enhancement? Limit your expressions to those who appreciate your style. Give time to others to think things through. Number two, graduates over here. Discuss the change and their impact on your with broad range of the people here. And be aware that the people vary in their levels of interest in what you have to say and thus be selective in whom you talk to. Okay, number three here, concrete here, as for the change management is concerned, may get stuck on some aspects of change and ignores others. Okay, what enhancements are someone to help you move from facts to detail to reasonable possibilities. Okay, number four here, the realistic. Focus on common sense aspects of the change here. So they realize that the common sense outcomes may not be immediately apparent. Okay, so number four, the experientials want to see an example of how the change will work here. So they accept that the impact of some change cannot be demonstrated in advance. Okay, traditional here, hope that many of established way of doing things will continue. So accept that some changes are necessary and may promote continuity in the long run. Okay, so the tough here, so the will actively embrace or resist change depending whether you agree with it. Okay, Sit back, consider the whether your sentence will really get you what you want in the long run. Okay, plan as far as in advance as possible for the change here. Allow for the unexpected in your long run plan, it will happen. Okay, in last years, so methodological, identify the steps and other before starting task. So detail many steps necessary to implement the change. Know that the circumstances may require that the carefully develop steps by change in the moments. So that is how the change management happen in the system. Okay, and the next year, so that is a conflict management. And the conflict management for the better setup, first take care of getting work done while maintaining your relationship with the people involved. Recognize that all perspectives have something to add, but any perspective used in the extreme and to exclusion of its opposite will ultimately impede the conflict solutions. Number one, expressive. So discuss the conflict. First, expressive here. Discuss the conflict, your emotional reactions to its immediate. Be aware that even though others may not speak up immediately, so may feel strongly about the issues here. So graduates that involve all relevant people in resolving the conflict, not just those who know well. So the respect that the need of the some people to remain uninvolved until they are ready to participate. Questioning here, ask many questions of the others to reveal all the issues in the conflict. Be aware that the people may take your question styles as challenging rather than helping in resolving the issues. Be clear about your intent. So here over here the toughness, point out of the everything that is still wrong and needs corrections, realizing that your style may upset others and try to pull back and be more accepting. Okay, so the tough here, so the push up people's conflict here immediately so that the progress can be made. So recognize delays in implementing may be necessary to reach the goals here. And the last here, that is early starting, believe conflict can be avoided by starting work on a project early as mentioned. So make all allowances for the people for whom starting early is not comfortable or effective. So that is how we have demonstrated our all concepts. The first, impact on communication and communication style and communication enhancement. Second, we have discussed change management and impact on change management styles. And number three, we have discussed conflict management style and enhanced conflict management. So that is how thinking and feeling are impacting. So thank you very much again for your precious time. Okay, on my next lectures, overall impact on personality assessment, I will give brief about what we have learned from extraversion introversions, what we have learned sensing intuitions, what we have learned thinking feeling, what we learned judging and perceiving. These 8 senses, 4 pairs, how they are opposing to each other and what we learned from these senses. So I'm going to explain you next week how it's impacting our personality on a communication, on a change management, and on a to manage the conflict or conflict management. Thank you very much again for your precious time. Thank you very much everyone for your precious time. Please don't hesitate. Send me your feedback, comments at t.masood.dr@bath.edu. Thank you very much again. Stay blessed, stay strong, and live with your passion. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. Thank you again.